Muy buenas noches. How you feel? Good? It's so great to be here and to play with these amazing musicians from different parts of the world. Before when they were doing the rifle, we were talking in the back with from Italy, from Israel. He was telling stories from Israel, and then Elio from Brazil, and it's like so much stories back there. But now we're singing music for you, right? That was a tune that I wrote titled "Tá Bom," and it means it's okay, everything is good. Just enjoy the moment. And that was a beautiful solo by Itaí Chris on Proctors. From Brazil on percussion, Mr. Rogerio Bocato. We're going to continue with a piece. It's influenced by Astor Piazzolla from Argentina, and this is titled Ventarrón, like a strong wind. Enjoy. Junior on harmonica, please, from Israel. Eddie Alves on piano, please. And drums, please, Julian Miltenberger, please. So before I bring the next guest, I'll tell you the story. I was in a jam session a couple years ago in Queens. I'm from Colombia. Any Colombian here? Oh, two? Oh, good. No, because I was in Poland, I had the same question, no one. But so I was in this jam session and it was a beautiful woman singing. And then when she's finished singing, I went to her and said, hey, my name is Edmar Castaneda. You're gonna get married with me. And she said, why are you crazy? What do you mean? Yeah, you're gonna get married with me. We're gonna have a daughter, her name is Selty. She said, why are you crazy? What are you talking about? And I had the name of my daughter like 4 years before. I said, when I met the woman of my life, I'm gonna tell her that I'm gonna have a daughter, Selty. Anyway, we got married 20 days later. Yes, it's true. Selty is sitting back there by the sound. She's 16 now. I've been married with this beautiful woman for 21 years. For me, it's a privilege, it's a blessing to share stage and music with my love. Please welcome Andrea Tierra on vocals.
Traigo enredada en el alma vida y una tristeza. Me acusas de no quererte, no digas eso. Tal vez no comprendas nunca, vida, y porque me alejo. Tal vez no comprendas nunca, vida, y porque me alejo. Es mi destino, piedra y camino. Soy peregrino. vida y me voy llorando. Es mi destino, piedra y camino de un sueño lejano y bello, vida y soy peregrino.
How's everyone doing? Good? I know you must be enjoying these amazing musicians that I feel so blessed to be sharing this moment with. That was a beautiful song written by a great composer from Argentina, Atahualpa Yupanqui, called Piedra y Camino. And I always, I have no words after you already told them our whole life love story. Sometimes I feel like people are waiting for this crazy girl who got married 20 days later. But as I see him playing, and Birsa just told me when he was getting in and backstage, he was like, this story never gets old. And I'm like, yeah, it never gets old, even for us, even for me to see him play. It's always a pleasure. This next song is written by a great composer from Colombia. He wrote this song actually 30 years ago, and he was inspired by a very big issue that we had with racism in our country in that moment. And I always loved it, and this is a dancing song, and I used to dance this song with my family growing up. But then when I grew up, I realized how important the lyrics were, because it's an invitation to see us as a family, regardless of the place that we were born and any other differences that we may think there are differences. You see, he calls us one big race, the human race, if we can call it. This is called Castaneda. Del África fiero, la cartagenera, la de Nueva York. Yo soy de las islas, soy del mundo entero, soy de la perdida raza del Chocó. Yo soy de la raza
fuera distinta, pero igual por dentro soy a mi patrón. Y quien no comprenda que así es que es mi pinta, me pone en la esquina de la incomprensión. Del África fiera, la cartagenera, la de Nueva York. Yo soy de las islas, soy del mundo entero, soy de la perdida raza del Chocó. Yo soy de la raza por fuera distinta, pero igual por dentro soy a mi patrón. Y quien no comprenda y así es que es mi pinta, me pone en la esquina de la incomprensión.